What's up, guys? It's 6Man Sports, and the time is officially like 4:30 as I'm recording this. So that means the trade deadline has passed. All the trades have officially gone. Like Richard Rodriguez to Atlanta is the last trade that I've heard of, that I know of. So that means the 2021 MLB Trade Deadline is done, and in today's video, we shall be reviewing the winners and losers of the trade deadline, which teams got good prospects for their fire sale, or which teams made significant additions that helped them gear up for a playoff push. So in today's video, we'll break all of it down and which team won or lost the trade deadline. So we're going to have like 5 winners and losers. But yeah, let's get to the video. Alright, so our first winner is the LA Dodgers. The LA Dodgers first at some point seemed like losers of the trade deadline because it seemed like the Padres were going to land Max Scherzer. But the Dodgers ended up getting shortstop Trey Turner from the Nationals, who I don't know why they would trade Trey Turner. Like, I understand why they're trading Scherzer, but why Trey Turner? So they get Scherzer and Trey Turner, and they trade away Josiah Gray and Keibert Ruiz, who is one of the top prospects in the MLB. So they're really good, but the thing is, this front office can easily afford Turner and Scherzer, so I think it's definitely worth it as the Dodgers look to go back-to-back, especially after all the Bauer drama. Like, they need to get Scherzer, so it's really, really nice. So as soon as Clayton Kershaw returns, the Dodgers rotation is going to be Scherzer, Kershaw, Buehler. So that's a great trio. And if you get to the NL wildcard game and don't win the division, like, who are you going to choose there? And they have a crazy good postseason rotation. So they also have an infield now with Justin Turner, Trey Turner, Corey Seager, and Max Muncy. And they also added Danny Duffy to their bullpen. Danny Duffy is an extremely underrated trade piece. Like, he's really good this year, and adding Danny Duffy to your bullpen is pretty good. He can give you some innings. So yeah, first winner, LA Dodgers. Next is our first loser, the Colorado Rockies, also in the NL West. I mean, it seemed like after the home run derby, the hometown kid was gone from Colorado, like how Nolan Arenado was gone. Seemed like they were going to trade away Trevor Story, but they didn't. They kept Trevor Story and John Gray. John Gray was getting a lot of attention from, like, the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, a bunch of teams. Padres, like Dodgers before they got Scherzer. So a bunch of teams were looking in at John Gray. Like, they could have definitely got some good prospects, especially because pitching was actually costing them some prospects this deadline. So I don't know. Also, how German Marquez is staying on the roster. So German Marquez, Trevor Story, and John Gray are still on the roster. And with all of them, like, can leave, and Trevor Story can leave for pretty much just a compensation pick, so they won't get any prospects out of it, other than, like, the first round, like the compensation pick, but that's not as good as getting, like, 3 to 4 prospects. Trevor Story will for sure decline the qualifying offer, but yeah. Our next winner is the Minnesota Twins. So they decided in the middle of the season they needed a reset. So they traded Nelson Cruz to the Rays, and they got right-handed pitcher Joe Ryan. He's a top 6 prospect now in Minnesota's farm system, and he'll likely join the Twins rotation in 2022. And then they traded Berrios for Austin Martin, who is the number 5 pick in the 2020 MLB draft, and Simeon Woods Richardson, who came to the Blue Jays in the Marcus Stroman trade. Like, those are 2 really nice prospects for Berrios. One problem is Martin has lacked power, so hopefully they can build up power in Austin Martin. I think both of them are going to be great, and the Blue Jays did have to pay the price because the pitching market was a bit steep, but they did get Jose Berrios. But the Twins got really nice prospects. Our next loser, the Philadelphia Phillies. They did trade for Kyle Gibson and Ian Kennedy from the Rangers, but the thing is, after the Mets made that Javier Baez trade, they need to do something if they want to stay in contention for the NL East title. So they traded for Kyle Gibson and Ian Kennedy. While Kyle Gibson is having a really good season, he is at best realistically a number 3 or number 4 starter. His ERA is 2.87 this year, but his SIERA is a 4.46. And Ian Kennedy has been pretty good, though he is 36. He has a 2.5 ERA with around 10 strikeouts per 9, and he's a quality reliever. He helps the Phillies bullpen as it's one of their weaknesses. And yeah, they are quality additions, but the thing is they had to send over Spencer Howard. He has struggled. Spencer Howard was once a top 100 prospect, and he has struggled in Philly but I think he can be very good for the Rangers, and he still, if had time, could have developed a lot with Philly. So I don't know. Did they pay too much for those two guys? Next winner is the New York Yankees. After a few years of being too quiet at the MLB trade deadline, Brian Cashman was aggressive this year. With the Yankees at third in the AL East at the trade deadline, they need to find a way to make the second wildcard spot and make the playoffs. So they trade for Joey Gallo, who is extremely great. He's a lefty. He's gonna kill balls at Yankee Stadium. He already has more homers than Yankees lefties this year. So all the lefties on the Yankees team. I'm not talking about, So, Joey Gallo, great addition. Then, they traded for first baseman Anthony Rizzo. He knows what it's like to win he knows what it's like to win a World Series. So, Anthony Rizzo, great trade. They lacked lefties, so they did these two trades, and they added Andrew Heaney to the rotation, who is pretty solid. So, yeah, winners are the Yankees. It seemed like the Padres are going to walk out this deadline being the Giants because at 3:55, the Giants didn't make any moves, and then they finally traded for Kris Bryant. And the thing is, when your rivals trade for Max Scherzer or Trey Turner, and then your other rival trades for Kris Bryant, you have to do something. I know they traded for Adam Frazier, but that's not going to cut it. They needed to get some help on the rotation, and Max Scherzer was that perfect guy. He was potentially signing with the getting traded to the Padres, but they worked out a different deal with the Dodgers where they got like Keibert Ruiz, Josiah Gray. So, yeah, ultimately, Max Scherzer went to the Dodgers, and that hurt the Padres a lot. Like, they got Jake Marisnick and they got Adam Frazier. Jake Marisnick, cool bench bat, but they needed to get some help on the rotation. John Gray, I don't know why the Rockies didn't trade John Gray, but the Padres should have definitely went for Berrios, John Gray, and they also made a pretty good run at Max Scherzer. But yeah, Padres are the losers, and we'll see. I know they're going to make like the wild card, if not at least win the division. So we'll see. Can they survive the wild card if they're there, or if they win the division? I mean, how good are they going to be in the playoffs? So we'll see. The NL West is going to be extremely interesting and extremely fun this next couple months. Next winner, we have the Chicago Cubs. I know it seemed like they were doing really bad at the deadline, trading all their guys like from the 2016 team, like Baez. They traded Bryant, they traded Rizzo, right? So that's their core. That's their guys from the 2016 run. But if you actually take a look at it, they made some really nice trades where they got good prospects. Like they traded Andrew Chafin. They got two great prospects from the A's. Then they traded Ryan Tepera. They got a pretty decent prospect back from the White Sox. Then in the Rizzo trade, they got a top 10 prospect. And then in the Jock Peterson trade, they got a pretty good guy who's at AAA. The Rizzo trade, like I already mentioned. The Baez trade, they got a pretty good guy who's 19 years old. He's going to be really nice. So Peter Crow Armstrong. And then the Bryant trade, they didn't get much. They didn't get Joey Bart back in return. But still, they got a nice haul of prospects. But anyways, wow. They got a bunch of prospects. The Cubs, Jed Hoyer, nice job. I'm going to clap it up for you because you guys are set for the future. Nice retool for the Cubs. And if you're a Cubs fan, you're a little sad, a little emotional seeing you guys go, at least know that you're set for the future with these great prospects. Alright, our next loser is the Atlanta Braves. In a competitive NL East where the Mets seem like they're on top, they just traded for Eddie Rosario and Adam Duvall. They're not contenders in this division. Like, they've struggled to play 500 ball the entire year. And the Mets got help in the rotation, and Baez is great. The Phillies made a trade with the Rangers, so Atlanta is looking bad. I mean, they did get Richard Rodriguez at the end. He's a really nice closer, but I don't think that's going to move the needle enough for the Braves. Like, I don't know, man. Acuna's hurt for the rest of the year. You also got to take that into consideration. So the Braves, looks like they're not going to be NL East champs, and it looks like they're not going to make the playoffs. Because if you take a look at it, the Giants and the Padres are going to be the other two wildcard teams. So the only way you make the playoffs at this point is if you win the division. Like, there's no chance you're catching up to the Padres, nor the Giants if you're Braves or the Phillies. So, yeah. The Atlanta Braves are losers for this deadline. That's it for this video, guys. It's been 6 Minute Sports. Those are my winners and losers from this year's 2021 MLB Trade Deadline. Let me know if your team made some good moves, if your team made some bad moves, and how you think they're going to do for the rest of this year. But yeah, I don't know if I did 5 winners and 5 losers. It might have been 3 or 4. But anyways, that was what I thought were the major W's and L's from the trade deadline. Teams that could have done better, teams that did amazing. But please consider subscribing if you like this type of content and leave a like. It'll really help out our channel. And comment down below anything you have to talk about the deadline. I'll be free to talk. And go follow our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all our social medias at sixthman.sports as usual. Have a great issue day. Peace, Sixth Man Sports.